And let's turn now to Diane Swonk for more analysis of today's Fed meeting. She's chief economist at Grant Thornton. Always good to see you. And we should point out, you were among those who were thinking there was a possibility we could get what you called an insurance cut today. But what did you make of what we got today?
Well, we didn't get an insurance cut today, but we sure got, Powell punted to July, but I think they're really gearing up for a cut in July, and Steve's absolutely right. They've got a little more data they'd like to see. They're really worried now that inflation, I know that many of your viewers say, hey, I'm paying too much for things, but they would like to see a much warmer economy given how long this expansion is. They'd like to see a bit of a heat wave, and we're not getting it. And that's something they're concerned about. They really miss that. Something else that's really important for viewers to understand is, in the statement itself, Steve read that part of the statement, they said they want to extend, they actually want to do whatever necessary to extend the length of the expansion. And I think that's something that's really unusual for the Fed. We really don't usually hear the Fed talking about sustaining expansions. We hear all this other stuff that, is more abstract, like full employment, price stability, but that idea that they want to sustain the expansion. And I was at the meeting that Jay Powell was at when we were talking to people who are finally getting a second chance in this economy. He really sees the only method he has for opening up the economy to more people participating in a marathon of an expansion is to extend the length of the expansion.
So, Diane, how important is the upcoming G20 meeting in all of this, and the rather flat talks between the U.S. and China? We really haven't seen any progress on that front.
Exactly, and that's what we really need to see, progress on that front and some backing off of tariffs as well. That's something the Fed is concerned about, is that already the tariffs we have, because the Mexican situation did flare up and that scared the Fed. That settled down with the idea that we'd tariff everything from Mexico, but now are we going to see another round of tariffs with China, or at least see some backing off of tariffs with China? That is going to be one of the many factors they take into account. The trade situation is something they're very concerned about. The issue on uncertainty, too, and in sentiment, this is something they really got spooked last December, because not only did businesses pull back when we had that huge market swoon, but we also saw consumers pull back, and they were in better economic situation on the overall economic data, showing more momentum in it than there is today. And that's something they're really worried about. So they still are talking about a preemptive cut. Right. They're talking about cutting before the economy falls apart, and insurance.
Diane Swonk with Grant Thornton. Always good to see you. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.